Fighters say that they're disciplined when they eat the right foods, when they come in and they train, do all that kind of things. But then when they leave the gym, they don't assess what they've done. They don't break things down. They don't focus on the mistakes, on the things that they don't do as well. They just think about what they do great. Jordan's whole lifestyle, the way that he lives, how he sees the sport and everything, is disciplined. He's disciplined in the fact that he doesn't go out there doing things that distract him from his sport. Everything's kind of like geared around his goal of what he wants to achieve in boxing. That's true dedication and discipline. Since Jordan's been here, we've had Derek Chisora coming to the gym, who's at the other end of the scale. He's an experienced fighter coming in, and he's just slotted in, got on with Jordan, personality wise. And then we've had the other end, we've had the new young buck coming to the gym, 19-year-old Hopi Price, who we call Drago because he's 6 foot tall, and he's going to box at super bantamweight. He's just huge, and he can fight. Jordan's been here when there's been Tony Bellow, experienced campaigner, Chisora, experienced campaigner, and now it's the first time he's got somebody that's coming to the gym that's younger than him, the new prospect sort of thing. And it's been interesting to see the dynamic work between Jordan and Hope. Jordan straight away is there for him to advise, just to talk, and kind of like it's taking him under the wing. But Hope's personality has allowed that because he's just fit into how we are. He's our kind of people where you can. So we've been away on a training camp, and in the training camp you find out really whether people irritate you or whether you can live with them or not, because we basically live with each other. So there's myself, there's Jordan, and there's Hope in the apartment, and we've all got on. There's when you can have silence, but it's not awkward silence. It's like that. Nobody has to speak just for the sake of it. Jordan's really took him under the wing. Hope is fit in. It works as a great dynamic, and it's a nice addition to the gym and to the relationships in the gym, and that's down to the personalities. You can do all the training you like, and we all have a job, because boxing is very selfish. So ultimately Jordan has to look after his career, Hope has to look after his career, Chisora has to look after his career. That's how fighters are, because when that bell goes, it's their career on the line. Regardless of whether Jordan makes it to his dreams and his ambitions, has no impact on Hope, and that's how we see things. But at the same time, because there's no threat level, Jordan makes it, Hope gets jealous, or vice versa, that don't work, because they know that it's individual careers and individual paths that they're taking. But there's the advice there, and there's taking kids under the wing to help them, because Jordan's been that kid that's coming to a new gym and had the others that he's had to get to know and things like that. And I think Bellew took Jordan under his wing, and now Jordan's kind of like repaying the favour back. Well, I work pretty hard in the gym anyway, while I'm training the fighters. The impact and of the punches on the pads from numerous fighters as it takes its toll. So I suffer from a lot of injuries, but at the same time I have to train to stay strong, to be able to take them on the pads. So it's a bit of a circle. So I always find time to train. I'll train 4 times a week. I go to my local gym. I vary up the sessions. I'm 44 now. So whereas before I used to be very just weights orientated and very heavy weight orientated, you'd go in one day you do chest, one day you do back, one day I kind of do it like that. Then as it's got on, and getting to know Jordan gave, when we went to I think it was Dubai, the first time that I did a specific circuit with him. Jordan gave me a circuit to do. So I started doing his circuit, which incorporated weights, incorporated pull-ups, and different things. And it was hard, but I stuck at it. Also, the first time that I got into all the mobility stuff was through training with Jordan with our S&C coach Danny Wilson. They took me through the sessions with them, so I train alongside them. So I've kept that through my life, and also with the the functional training. again, I've done it through them. So I found a massive impact on my life because I just feel stronger in yourself. Yes, I used to skip leg day, and I never used to do legs because I'm one of those that I can dig in when it's hard on your chest. You can dig in. When it comes to legs, I couldn't do that. But now I've stuck with it. I'm doing things like that. I just feel physically so much better, so much stronger, healthier. And when I turned 40, I had it in my head that I'm going to make sure that I don't start sliding like you see a lot of people do. And my ambition was to stay fitter and stronger in my 40s than I was in my 30s. And I am, even though it's hard work. I alter my training. I'll do different each day. It'll be something different, but it's same based on the same principles. It's more about rather than vanity. As you get older, you tend to find it's not about being vain and trying to look good on a beach or for other people. It's just about living longer and being able to keep up with your kids. I'm really active with my kids, so I want to stay that fit, active, cool dad rather than being the dad that I had that was just didn't move. So that's the driving force, and that's why I've switched my training to do a lot of functional work and all round maintenance really. I think functional training and all the S&C side of things came into boxing. Well, it's been I think the first main fighter that seemed to bring it on was catching the headlines was Evander Holyfield, from what I remember. He kind of like went more the modern scientific approach, and I think Bernard Hopkins did as well. There's a guy called Mackie Schultstrom out in America that he seemed to be the first one that brought S&C coaching into boxing. But over the last 8 years or so, it seems to have just taken off, and now you have boxers that are just starting out doing 4-rounders that have got S&C coaches, where before it was kind of reserved for your elite level athletes and fighters. But it's a big help, because it's more smart based. People have this thing where you go in and you do these. The easiest way for me to explain is that I used to have a public gym, and I would have these normal people coming to the gym, spend 2 hours in that gym every single day, like literally 5 days a week. They'd come in, train for 2 hours. Fast forward a year, they look the exact same as what they did a year ago, but they're doing all this training. So I look at S&C as it's a smarter way of training. It might not last 2 hours, but what you do has results, has effects, and coupled with the right eating, you're gonna reach your goals. And for the fighters, it takes a lot of pressure for me, because as long as I'm working with the right people that know what they're doing, I would always rather have somebody that knows more than me to take care of that part of business, rather than me just. I know about S&C. I know how to train fighters and get fighters fit. I did it for years before I even brought these guys on. But if they're experts at that field, why not add that to your fighter so he becomes a better fighter? Because ultimately that's what we want. And I think these days, there's that much going on with boxing and the boxing side of training that it doesn't hurt you to not have an ego where you think, I've got to have it all, I've got to know it, only I can train that fighter. Because if it's going to benefit your fighter, it benefits you anyway. So I just think as fighters these days, if they've got the right person involved, then it does help them, and it does yield better results for them.